Grace's bag hit the ground with a thud as the massive iron gate slammed shut behind her. "Please," she cried, rushing toward the security guards. "I just need 5 minutes. Let me talk to him." The guards exchanged uncomfortable glances. "Madam, we've been instructed not to let you in." Grace shook her head in disbelief. "You don't understand. I've known him for years." At that moment, a figure stepped onto the balcony of the mansion. David. The man she had loved when he had nothing. The man she had sacrificed everything for. The man who once swore he would never leave her. Their eyes met. For a moment, Grace thought he would come running down the stairs. Instead, David looked at the guards and said coldly, "Get her off my property." Grace felt her heart shatter. The guards gently escorted her away, as tears streamed down her face. What nobody standing there knew was that years earlier, David would have had nothing without her. If you enjoy emotional stories with powerful life lessons, make sure you subscribe and like this video, because this story is only getting started. Years before the mansion, before the expensive suits, before the luxury cars, David was a struggling young man, drowning in failure. Every week seemed to bring another disappointment. One evening, he sat in a small room staring at a rejection letter. His hands trembled. "I can't do this anymore," he muttered. Grace sat beside him. "You can." David laughed bitterly. "No, I can't. Every job rejects me. Every business idea fails. Maybe I'm just not meant to succeed." Grace grabbed his hand. "Don't say that. It's true." "No," she replied firmly. "The only thing that's true is that you haven't given up yet." David looked at her. "Why do you still believe in me?" Grace smiled. "Because one day, everyone else will see what I already see." Those words stayed with him. Months later, David came up with another business idea. The problem was money. He needed funds to register the company. One night he told Grace, "I think this dream is over." "Why?" "I don't have the money." The next day, Grace handed him an envelope. David opened it. Inside was enough money to register the business. His eyes widened. Where did this come from? Grace hesitated. David immediately noticed the empty spot on her wrist. "The bracelet your mother gave you." Grace looked away. "I sold it." David was speechless. "You sold your mother's bracelet?" "It was just jewelry." "No, it wasn't." She smiled. "If it helps build your future, it was worth it." David hugged her tightly. "I'll never forget this." But he would. The business struggled in the beginning. Customers were scarce. Bills piled up. Investors walked away. Every time David wanted to quit, Grace was there. When he lost confidence, she encouraged him. When people mocked him, she defended him. When he failed, she helped him stand again. Years passed. Then, everything changed. One morning, David received a call. A major company wanted to sign a contract with him. The deal was worth more money than he had ever seen. When he got home, he lifted Grace into the air. "We did it." Grace laughed through tears. "I told you." David couldn't stop smiling. "You were right." The contract opened new doors. More clients arrived. The company expanded. Money poured in. Soon David was driving luxury cars and attending exclusive events. People who once ignored him suddenly wanted to be his friend. Grace watched proudly. She thought their struggles were finally over. But success was beginning to change David. At first, the changes were small. He returned calls later. He spent more time away from home. He became impatient. Then came the new friends, wealthy businessmen, socialites, people obsessed with status. One evening, David introduced Grace to them. The moment she walked away, one of the men laughed. That's your girlfriend? David frowned. What's wrong with her? The man smirked. Nothing. She just doesn't look like someone a successful man would be with. The group laughed. David forced a smile. Another friend added, You need someone who matches your lifestyle. David didn't respond. But the seed had been planted. The comments continued for months. Slowly, David began seeing Grace differently, not as the woman who helped build his future, but as a reminder of the past he wanted to forget. Grace noticed the distance growing. One evening she confronted him. David, talk to me. About what? About us. David sighed heavily. Can we not do this right now? When then? David rubbed his forehead. I've been busy. You've been avoiding me. The room fell silent. Grace's voice cracked. Did I do something wrong? David looked away. No. Then why are you treating me like this? He remained silent. That silence hurt more than any words. Weeks later, Grace saw him leaving a restaurant with another woman. The woman was elegant, wealthy, and connected. Everything society said a successful man should want. Grace confronted him that night. Tell me the truth. David stared at the floor. Grace. Tell me. Finally, he looked up. You don't fit into my life anymore. Grace felt like the air had left her lungs. What? Our worlds are different now. Tears filled her eyes. Different? David hardened his expression. You wouldn't understand. Grace stared at him in disbelief. The company, the money, the success, none of it would exist without me. David said nothing. His silence confirmed everything. A few weeks later, he threw her out completely. The woman who stood beside him through every failure was gone. If you're still watching, comment below. Do you think David deserves forgiveness? The ending might surprise you. For a while, David thought he had made the right choice. Then his world began collapsing. A trusted partner stole company funds. Major contracts disappeared. Investments failed. Lawsuits followed. Within months, millions were gone. The wealthy friends stopped calling. The woman he chose over Grace left him. One by one, everyone disappeared. David found himself sitting alone in a nearly empty apartment. For the first time in years, he had nobody, and all he could think about was Grace. He remembered every sacrifice, every encouraging word, every time she refused to give up on him. Tears filled his eyes. What have I done? He spent months searching for her. Eventually, he found her. Grace had rebuilt her life. She was helping young women start businesses and overcome hardships. She looked stronger than ever. David approached slowly. Grace. She turned. The moment felt heavier than words. I'm sorry, he whispered. Grace remained silent. David's voice shook. I forgot who stood beside me when nobody else would. Tears rolled down his face. You were the reason I kept going. Grace looked at him quietly. You abandoned me when I needed you most. David nodded. I know. For several seconds, neither spoke. Then Grace finally said, I never helped you because I wanted your money. David looked up. I helped you because I loved you. Those words broke him completely. David lowered his head and cried. At that moment, he understood a painful truth. Success had not destroyed his life. His ingratitude had. Never forget the people who believed in you when you had nothing. Sometimes the person standing beside you during your struggles is the greatest blessing you'll ever receive. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more emotional stories, and tell us in the comments. Should Grace have forgiven David after everything he did?